How's it going, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of our Richie Stanaway career mode on the GP2 mod for F1 2014. It is the pre-season testing at Catalonia, and this video is just basically going to see where we are in terms of the pace of our status racing car, and just to get a feel for the mod itself with the handling as well. So you're going to see some setup work here, just showing you that I'm going to be running a full fuel here on the standard baseline set, just to get a nice feel for the car, because this is a lot different in terms of the handling model than the normal F1 cars that you have when you obviously get the game itself. So we're coming out of the pits. My aim for this was to do two runs. The first one was a run on the prime tyres, which you can see here, and a run on the medium tyre, or the option tyre for this pre-season testing, as we have the orange coloured prime tyre and the white grey medium or option tyre for this round. So this here was my installation app, just to get a feel for the car, and as you can see it twitches a lot. And if you didn't watch my last video, I thought I'd like to mention this car only has 6 gears, so just thought I'd put a bit of a disclaimer in before any comments go up saying, oh, why are you not moving up to 8 gears? Is the GP2 car from 2015 only had 6 gears and had a max speed of 179, which I've noticed on a few tracks I've tested on so far, with Bahrain and Monza, and obviously now Catalonia. So here, I was just getting a nice feel for the car, just to see how it is, and with the baseline set, it has got a bit of oversteer on there. So once we go back into the pits after our little installation run, we will be ready to roll with this one. As I mentioned in the last episode, we will be having the episodes cut off into 2 parts for each round. We're going to have the feature race coming up for Bahrain, which is the first round of the championship from last season, so we'll be doing that. And then the next episode after that will be the sprint race, which we mentioned in the last episode, will be either a 25% race where we have the pit, which is a bit annoying, or just do a quick 5-lap sprint race, just to make it a bit more easier. And hopefully your guys' feedback from the last episode where we did the introduction to the series, hopefully you guys will have picked, because this is your series, guys. You will decide what happens with the GP2 career mode on there. So we made our nice installation lap there as we come back into the pit lane, and the car felt fine. Just a bit of setup tweaks we will have to make during this session now, as our guys pull us back into the pit lane, and we are at the end of the pit lane, which is always nice, as we'll most likely be held up if the safety car pops out, or if anyone with us around us is fighting with us. So as you can see here, we've got King currently on pole, the quickest man in testing at the minute, only just though from Markelov there. And also Alexander Rossi, some of you may know, who raced for Caterham last year, is in 5th place. So this was our first run on the prime tyres, our first proper run here, with some slight setup changes, nothing really major, just changed the wings and the alignment there. With Markelov currently the quickest man, and our teammate Stockinger, who hasn't set a time yet on there. So we were the only 2 drivers to not really set a time at this one, so getting used to these prime tyres, which were absolutely horrible to drive at the start of the stint. Nothing really from them, just no grip whatsoever on the front tyres, but the rear seemed okay. So I wasn't really expecting of a quick time at the minute. It was just getting a nice feel for the car. Again, with some slight changes, bit of a snap of oversteer there, but we managed to correct it nicely as we go into the middle sector, where we do struggle with on this lap along with the first sector, but we are particularly strong as we're running quite a lot of downforce to help us cope with the last sector. As we just go a bit wide there and going onto the gravel there, but we just get away with it, which means we will have not a lot of grip here. As you can see, the back end sliding out whatsoever on there. Just using the DRS there just to go for a quick check, and the front rights, as you can see, are still cold. But you can see we're not on pace with Markelov, as remember, this is just testing, so we don't want to give our true pace away to the cars in front. We just want to keep them under wraps and see where we will come out in Bahrain in the next episode. But coming to the end of the lap now, and a bit of a lot of snap of oversteer, so something we can take when we come back here to Spain later on in the season. But as you can see, we're just going to play it nice and smooth as we come across the line. It won't be the quickest time in the world, it'll be a 1:32.9, which will put us stone dead last, but the gap, as you can see, is only 1.92 seconds really from pole for the quickest time of the session, which is not really of an issue there. This was the next lap we did, once the primes slowly got up to temperature. It is overcast conditions to say as well, so the tyres will need a bit of warmth there as we gain an extra second there. So we're only 7/10 off the current fastest time of Stoffel Vandoorne, and we're just ahead of Alexander Rossi as well. And I will say this as well as a bit of a disclaimer, I will get pronunciations of names wrong in this career mode at the start, but hopefully throughout the season I will get every single one right just for you guys. So a 1:31.5 is not a bad time on primes. You don't know what Vandoorne's on. We believe he is on the primes as well. So we're not that far off, and as you can see, the first sector just gave me a bit of a hint there that Vandoorne was on the option tyre, which is the medium tyre, the white compound tyre. So I was feeling alright with that, as I think around us we're on the option tyre, but obviously we don't know that until later on in the session. But we're just playing it nice and smoothly here, just being very cautious after we made that mistake earlier on, as Vandoorne now improves his time to a 30.7, so now he's around about 7.5 tenths quicker than us overall, and you can see there we're still matching pace to our current best time, as King now puts in a 29.8, just proving that the pace is slowly picking up as the track evolution starts to come into effect, as we will get more grip now from these prime tyres, well, hopefully, but we believe he is on the option tyres, so we get a bit of a little cheeky word from the stewards there, so this lap won't count, but obviously it's testing, so nothing to worry about really about that. But we just want to see as we get a lot of oversteer there, as we lose the back end, so that will need a lot of setup work when we go back into the pits there. As you can see, 1.3 seconds off our best time, and currently in 6th place, so I felt pretty happy with the pace so far of the primes compared to the guys on the option tyres. So the front rights again, not up to temperature as I would have liked, but we'll have to take that on the head as we continue on our merry ways, as they're losing the back end there once again. But then I decided to end the session there for my stint there. As you can see, with only a few minutes under the 10-minute mark, you can see King is still quickest, but Rio Haryanto is now second, who obviously you guys will know now races for Manor Racing at for this current 2016 season on there. So we're going to start working on the setup ever so slightly there. Nothing really changing, as we will just quickly save this set. Well, we're not going to change the set, so we're making a few alignment adjustments just to get a bit of a feel for the car, just to see how we do on that. The suspension I obviously will have to change on there, so we're just going to run, we're going to change the suspension now as well, as I was just about to say on there, and try and work away from the baseline set now and just work from testing out my old 2014 setups from the career mode that we did way back at Spain, just to see if we get a feel for it. And we will be going on to the option tyres, the white striped tyre, for our last run of the day. So I was feeling quite optimistic going into the last few minutes of testing here for the start of the GP2 season. We're going to see where we're going to be on pace on the option tyres compared to the likes of King, Haryanto, Vandoorne, and see where we are. As you can see, we've dropped all the way down to 18, so wasn't feeling that optimistic coming out the pits, thinking what our pace will be once we leave and start our final run of the day. So we're going to start now our option run, and we're going straight on to Rich and straight on with the DRS, and as you can see, going up to 176, 177 on there. This is how quick the GP2 cars are on this mod. That's just missing the apex of the curb there, and a better exit out of 2, as we've only got 5 minutes to go of this testing session. And then after that, straight into the season at Bahrain for the next episode. But we're coming to the end of the first sector, and as you can see, we've gained nearly 6 tenths on our best time. But we don't know how quick we are to Evans, who has just popped up to the top of the timesheets while we were in the pit lane. So Josh King there, not really having the pace there to Mitch Evans, a fellow Australian to Stanaway, as we'll be coming into this middle sector now. Getting it nicely done there, but we just go a bit wide there, costing us a bit of time. And we have got marbles on our front right tyre, which will hinder grip through this long right hander. As you can see, the tyres are cold once again on the right hand side, so we need to really figure that out for the next, for the first race actually. We gain a second. As you can see, we could have gone a bit quicker, but we're only 6 tenths off Mitch Evans, so I can take that as he actually puts in a 29.5 to improve on there. So we're nearly 2 seconds off the pace of Evans, but that was on the prime tyre obviously, so I was feeling pretty confident going into this last corner. Missed the apex of the first part, but we get a bit of oversteer out of the last corner. But what will that mistake have cost us? We're about to find out as we cross the line, and it is a 1:29.5, which only puts us surprisingly up to second with that mistake. Only 3/100ths of a second down, and on to our last run of the day. Just with 1 minute 27 seconds to go, we have right down on fuel. So we're somewhat on race/quali trim at this point, as we're coming to the end of the middle sector, start the final sector, and we're only a 10th off our best time. So I wasn't really that bothered really if I was slow, but it meant that we have done something that I've never done in the career mode on any game that I've done, and that's like consistency. I've never got consistent times in a race, so I was feeling quite happy with that, actually, taken away from testing on there with only 50 seconds to go. So we'll want to see what this time's going to be when we cross the line to end our testing for the Status Racing team, and it's a 29.6, only a 6/100ths off the best time we've done, a 29.568, which is not far from off Mitch Evans' best time, which I'll take away with that. So looking very promising from that pre-season testing, with Mitch Evans, as I said, with the quickest time with a 29.5, only 4/100ths off was us, with Pierre Gasly in third, 3 tenths off the pace, with Jordan King and Julian Neal completing the top 5. Then we've got Artem Markelov in 6th, with Ria Bender in 7th, with Rio Haryanto in 8th, and Rossi and Marsilio completing the top 10, with Sergei Sirotkin, I've probably got that wrong, is in 11th, with Arthur Pick completing the top 12 from this pre-season testing, 1.2 seconds off from 1st to 12th, so very close in the pack for this season, which is very promising for this career mode series. On to the second half of the table of results, and Van Dorm, the first man, in 13th. A bit of surprise, but the ART guys probably not want to give much away in terms of the pace that these guys have on there, with Alex Lynn in the second Dams car in 14th, with Matas Suhita, probably got that wrong, Van Dorm's teammate in 15th, with Viz Oil in 16th, with Norman Nato in the Arden car in 17th, with our teammate Marlon Stockinger in 18th, who was around about 1.5 seconds off the best time, which 1.7 seconds actually, I do apologise, with Andre Negreo in 19th, and Nicholas Taffy and Sean Galal and Daniel Gion completing the lineup for this season of career mode, and the pace from first to last is only 2.6 seconds, so I was pretty confident that this season will be quite an interesting one. We may see a mixed bag of results, but that will be the end of pre-season testing. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more GP2 career mode content and another series that's going to be launching this week, so keep an eye out on that. But until next time guys, if you hit 100 likes on this, I will immediately upload the next round, which is at Bahrain. But until then guys, have a great day, and I shall see you for another video. Until then, take care and see you later.